How's it going, OSIGame.tv? This is Captain Games T. Kirk, and I'm here with the amazing, talented Cutiepiesensei. How you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm good. I'm great.
We're hanging out at PAX South this weekend, and we are just taking some time out to just have a conversation, get to know her a little bit more, if you don't mind.
No, I like for people to ask questions and stuff and get to know me because I'm a little like weird and quiet online. So this is good. This is fine.
All right. So let's get a little bit of your origin story. Where are you from? How'd you get into cosplay and all that stuff?
So I'm from Atlanta, born and raised. I mean, I've been a little all over, but like home base is Atlanta.
Yeah.
In terms of cosplay, I've always been into kind of nerdy stuff, but I actually didn't know about the convention circuit until college. And my then boyfriend, now fiance, introduced me. He took me to my first con, and I was like, "What is this? There's people, exactly right? Like, there's people walking around in costumes and stuff." And I've always been super artistic and loved making things. And I was like, "This has like video games and cartoons, and I can make costumes.
Yeah.
Where has this been all my life?" So from there, like, it was a done deal, and I, started off really small and then worked my way up, and now I'm Cutiepiesensei. So, yeah.
What inspired the name Cutiepiesensei?
I hate to disappoint, but there is no fancy story behind that.
That's fine.
It's literally something as simple as like, I was trying to think of a screen name for online. And this was actually before I was doing cosplay stuff. Like when I set up my Instagram, this was not for cosplay, it was just normal Instagram. And I was like, what doesn't have numbers? I need something cute and adorable because I'm a girl. And that's what I thought of. And it was just pictures of like me and my mom and drawings I did. And then I was like, I'll put costumes on here. And then people started liking it. Yeah. And then the page grew. And then I was like, well, I'm stuck. So, but it's okay. The name works. So it's all good.
Yeah. I think people dig it, you know. What was your first cosplay? Do you remember your first cosplay?
Yeah, it was an easy one.
Okay.
It was Korra from Legend of Korra.
Oh, I remember that. I saw that.
Yeah,
that
it
was dope.
made out of glue and bought things. I did not have a sewing machine. I didn't know how to sew. That was an experience. But yeah, that was my first one. Pretty happy with how it turned out, considering I didn't know what I was doing. So, yeah.
Well, that's pretty dope. I mean, everybody's got to start somewhere. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I mean, now, you've got all of these super popular, really detailed looking cosplays. You got your Wonder Woman, your Kid Flash. You did a Farrah?
Yeah, it was a Farrah crossover with Vi from League of Legends.
Okay.
So I had like the giant fists and stuff, but I still had like the Farrah color scheme and like the hair, and it was all like very Farrah but Vi. So I like mashups.
And then you got your Kill la Kill Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. That's
thank
crazy.
you.
That's awesome.
And the cool part about those two is like both of those mashups, I think people think it's just me behind the genius, but it really is my fiance too. Like he's the one that thinks of the idea, and then I'm like, yo, and then I'm an artist. So I'll concept some stuff out, do some sketches, and see like how those characters would fit together. So it's like a team effort type of thing in terms of like coming up with these mashups. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Team Cutiepiesensei.
Yeah, it's Team Cutiepiesensei.
So your fiance, does he have like a handle, like a tag?
No. It's like off screen, guys, and he refuses to like make an Instagram. I was like, make an account just so you can like follow my page. He's like, no. So no, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, we gotta whittle him down. We gotta get him. We got a couple cons. We're gonna hang out together. So
I know. We gotta get him in costumes.
Yeah, we gotta figure this out. We gotta get him right. He's over there like, no, you're not.
It's like you think.
But nah, that's pretty cool. So, what are some of like your favorite fandoms and things that may have inspired you to be like an artist and a cosplayer and all that stuff?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Oh, man, damn. I told you the hard ones.
No. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's almost kind of funny because it comes from two different sources, right? So I have a group of things that inspire me to cosplay, and then a group of things that group of things that inspire me to be an artist. So it's funny because, like, for instance, I'm a Marvel fangirl, and I've only cosplayed one Marvel character, right? Because I'm still just like, I love it so much that I want to do it right.
Yeah.
But like having like Marvel stuff from the movies to the comic books and stuff, like all that has been super inspirational.
Nice.
I haven't necessarily done anything yet because I want to do it right, but it's coming. And then in terms of like my art, I work in the video game industry, so usually on that front, I'm more inspired by video games that I've like grown up playing, and that kind of influenced my art style and how I went about that career path. And so that stuff, like growing up like Kingdom Hearts and stuff like that, really kind of got me into doing that. So now I do both.
Awesome. Are there any other like art mediums like movies or like music or anything that kind of inspires you in that way as well?
Music, I'm one of those people that's like, I love music, but I don't necessarily consider myself like a audiophile type of like thing. But definitely film. More so like animated stuff though, really over anything else. For the longest, before even I was doing the video game thing, I wanted to be an animator. So I realized how hard it is. But yeah, like growing up with just like Disney in general, one of the biggest influences. Like it was literally the reason why I wanted to get into cartoons and animation and draw stuff and do all that until I realized how repetitive it was. And then I was like, video games, that's next. And then I like delved into that. But yeah, definitely Disney.
Okay, that's really cool. So how long have you been doing cosplay now? How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it seriously for like 2.5 years.
Okay.
I started before that, but I was only doing like really small stuff, and I wasn't taking pictures and posting them online and that kind of thing. So total maybe 4 years, but internet wise like 2.5.
And when was the moment that do you have a moment in which you're like, wow, this has gotten like really big? Do you feel like there was like a moment that kind of showed you that?
I'm still getting like surprised every time I go to a con and I see someone go, oh my God, I follow your page. Like I follow your work, your Cutiepiesensei, and I'm like, what? Why? You like my stuff? Why? I don't understand. But so it's still kind of growing on me and still becoming like a thing. Just recently, maybe in the past few months, but I mean, it's cool. I'm excited to see where this goes because I didn't even think I would get this far.
Yeah, and it's weird because like you're just making things at first, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like all of a sudden you're somewhere and someone's like, yeah, I've heard that. Or you're like, wait, what? How?
Yeah,
you know?
you get tagged in things, you get like articles written and stuff, and it's like, I don't know how y'all are finding me. And it's like, oh my God, I saw you like on this page. It's like, what? Where? Who did this?
Like in a magazine somewhere.
Yeah, and it's like I'm literally just looking at like tutorials online, just like everyone else. Yeah. You're just stressing out in Joann's trying to figure out like what fabric I need. And people are like asking me questions like, oh my God, how do you make this? Like, I don't understand how you figured out how to do this. And I'm like, I don't know how I do this either. I ask questions and do research and do all that stuff just like everybody else. So it's crazy.
Well, with the tons of followers and things, you're obviously doing something right. So
apparently.
You know, there's definitely something that you're, deserving of the credit that you receive.
Oh, thank you.
Things like that. So I think you were with them when they were doing some of these interviews earlier. I don't know if you were or not, but Tabitha was doing a ton of interviews. And we talked about this at breakfast, but what is your favorite video game song? We're asking everybody that we interview at PAX, what's your favorite video game song and why?
So we talked about it, and you told me the name, and I immediately forgot.
Oh, okay. So the intro to Persona 5, right?
Yes,
Wake up, get up, get out there.
So good. It's just so jazzy. I remember turning on the game, and like we're just like, what is this? And then it comes on, and it's just like I was like, dun dun dun, and I'm like, Vincent. Oh my god! Like it was.
Yeah.
Mind blowing. I love it.
So is like jazz music kind of like your thing as far as
I love it, but
Yeah.
the fact like hearing that type of music in a
a video game.
yeah, in a video game like Persona, it was so different to me, and coupled with Persona's unique art style, it's very like graphic and bold and sharp angles, and the red, black, and white theme they have going
it's
on.
really strong.
Yeah, it's very strong, and that with the jazz music, just I don't know, it gave me some feels. Like,
especially like if I'm not mistaken, because like I think in some part of the intro you see like just a wide red line come across the screen, and then everything populates inside of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was just really crazy. Like they've always been really strong about color, because like Persona 3 had like a lot of blues and greens and blacks.
Exactly.
And 4 was all about the yellow and orange and things like that. So this was like the least number of colors that they've like actually used, because you got red and then 2 neutrals. Yeah,
it was way more like I said, it was way more graphic, I feel like, than their other games.
Yeah.
And just as from an artistic perspective, I was really digging just how the game looked, and even working in a game studio and talking to other people in the game studio and the game industry and stuff too. Like, I've heard nothing but good things about just how visually the game looks and how it plays, and how like the music just is so smooth throughout the whole game.
It is.
Just well done.
It is. So let's close this up, because I don't want to keep you too long. Got a whole night that you want to hang out, do whatever.
I mean, you're good. I can sit and talk all day.
That's good to know. But last question, we just ask everybody is if you have any advice for anybody that is trying to do this. You being someone who's made all of these really dope, detailed cosplays and everything. If there's someone who's like getting started, maybe doesn't know what the first step is or whatever, like what kind of advice would you give?
Right. So really a couple of things. First and foremost, I want to make sure that like no one feels limited, right? And what I mean is being specifically a Black cosplayer, going into it, sometimes you feel like, okay, to avoid causing drama, I need to stick to characters that I specifically look like, that are the same skin tone as me, and all that kind of stuff. And I just want to say, I don't want people to limit themselves like that and think I have to do this character purely because they're Black or purely because they're Hispanic or that kind of thing. Because you're setting yourself up to only be able to cosplay a small group of characters. And quite frankly, there are always going to be haters, regardless of what you do.
That's true.
So why limit yourself?
Exactly.
Go ahead, go bold, do whatever you want. And then also, with that in mind, like, also start small. I don't recommend someone going to cosplay and they haven't done it yet and they're like, I want to build Farah. That's not going to be a good time, and you're not going to have fun. Like, you might build it and be sort of happy with it maybe, but then what will happen is it will be so stressful, like the process of making something that big as your first costume, that you're not going to want to do more. Yeah. So I would say start small, know what your skill set is, and work your way up. Like I said, Korra was my first one, and it was stuff that I glued together, and I didn't know what I was doing. And now I can do really complicated stuff because I worked my way up.
Also glued together.
Still glued together.
Yeah, still glued together.
Like,
it's like amazing what like a little Elmer's can do. You just take it right underneath.
But since I glue stuff together, I also know how to like sew and do other things too. So you add like a skill, like you level up every time you make something. It's like, this time I'm going to use Warbler, and this time I'm going to use foam, and this time I'm going to put some LEDs in it and see what happens. And you just, work your way up. It's fine.
So what is the tiara made out of?
This is Warbler.
Not
so this is all, there's craft foam behind it, just one layer, and then it's just all Warbler on top, and that's it, and then an elastic band on the back.
Oh, nice.
Hold it on.
Awesome. It's pretty cool. Felt like I was interviewing Diana for a little bit. That was really dope.
Cool. That's awesome. I'm glad you felt that way.
Anyway, I really appreciate you taking the time out, talk to us and everything.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this. I hope you've enjoyed the time we've all had at PAX.
Yeah, it's been super awesome. And I just want to really say thank you for even like letting me come out here and have this opportunity, because this has been something totally new for me.
Yeah.
And it's been a blast. Like, I loved it.
Yeah. Well, you definitely have done your thing out here. You know, probably made a ton of new fans, met some fans.
Yeah.
Including me and Tabby, because we're like super fans. We're like the ones who told Way to like be like, yo, you should get. He was like, well, who's a cosplayer? We should get like Cutiepiesensei. You should just ignore all the other ones. Just.
But see, it's been super cool too to see y'all in person, because it's like, you know, you see people on Facebook and you talk to them on Facebook, and it's like, oh, internet people are real.
Right?
What?
They have voices. What is this? But anyway, thank you very much once again. All right.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching OSIGame.tv once again. This is Captain Games T. Kirk signing out.